What's up, everybody? Welcome to the JESS MARSHALL Podcast. I'm glad you've joined us. We are live, and I am stoked. I've got with me today, sitting right across the desk, live with me now, Leos Drbohlav. We're talking True Canine International. This guy has trained hyenas, y'all. We're going to talk about man's best friend, the unbreakable bond. We're going to talk about COVID dogs who aren't socialized, who need to be trained. We're going to talk to probably, very most likely, the preeminent dog trainer in the land. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy it. And remember, it's live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the JESS MARSHALL Podcast. Wow. Mark that swipe. Bring it.
That cowboy.
The man, the myth, the legend. Thank you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's awesome to be here again.
Yeah, dude. I reached out to you a couple of weeks ago because we just lost a puppy dog. And I thought of, we've, stayed in contact since you were on a year and a half ago, which is kind of crazy. And we've grown up a little bit around here. So thanks for coming back. You said you just got back from Australia?
Yeah, I just got back from Australia about 3-4 weeks ago. It was a great experience. It was nice. It was first time being in Australia. Always saw Australia from movies and Crocodile Dundee,
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to it. And, great experience.
I think my favorite Australian movies, it's two of them, growing up, these were my favorite movies. The Man from Snowy River and Return to Snowy River. Have you ever heard of those two?
Okay, so listen, that's the movie that's where my dreams were born.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
So I'm not fucking crazy.
I tell you what. So when I was in Australia, I was there 10 days only for work. And I'm laying at the hotel, waiting for my ride. Guess what movie was on?
Really?
The Man from the Snowy River, 1 and 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the first one has Kirk Douglas, right? That's the dad.
That's right, yes.
And then the second one has Brian Dennehy as the dad.
Yeah,
and
correct.
I have seen those movies. I've probably seen each of those 25 times each.
Oh, same thing, man. So I'm crazy about horses too, right? I love
this
them.
guy wore his spurs to the studio today, y'all. If you could hear him, you could hear him. That's what I'm talking about right there. Hell yeah.
I just got done riding horses, actually. That's
badass.
Yeah, man. That movie, I saw it as a little kiddo, and ever since then, I fell in love with horses. Yeah, totally loved them.
The scene where he's taking the mountain horse down Bess.
Yes.
And
yes.
Alistair shoots her and kills her, and he falls off and he passes out, and then he comes to and he realizes that
horse is dead.
He's dead.
Yeah.
And he loses it, man. He's just so emotional. And you're watching that movie. As a little kid, I was crying. Horses were just so mystical. Such powerful, awesome creatures. When you were young, and I know we went through your story last time, but it's a fascinating story. But were you always drawn to animals in this way where you could communicate and connect with them differently than other people seem to be able to?
So, look, there's actually a study that, the study says that there is a little window.
I'm going to move this just a little closer to you there.
I'm going to slide into it a little bit more. Okay, so there's a study that says that there's a window in the development of a human, and where you can hear totally different sounds, levels of sounds, and you can perceive the world totally different than after that window is closed. That window is about between 2 and 4 years old.
No shit.
Okay, so that's why if you look at best motocross rider ever, Ricky Carmichael, right? He started riding a bike at 3 years old. So anyone who is an absolute talent, a freak of nature, so to say, they have started that activity when they were this young.
Really?
There's an interesting research on it. Look it up.
That's like a vibrational type?
I'm not really big type of research guy, but yes, you perceive, you have different ability to perceive sounds, things around you. understanding on a different level, let's so to say. But the funny thing is, you don't realize that you perceiving it. You don't realize what's
You're
going
not
on.
conscious of that because you're a little kid.
Exactly. It goes in the box, and the box grows as you grow.
What's your first memory when you were a little kid of your first like interaction with an animal of any kind, like a house cat
Okay, so
or a dog?
we never had cats, or my family's always had dogs, right? Generations.
Yeah.
But I can vividly remember when I was playing with. On my social media. There's a picture of miniature schnauzer. It's a female. Her name is Alka.
Is that on your Instagram?
It's on my. I think both.
I think it's on your
and
Instagram. I know what
Facebook.
you're talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
Sohail will find it.
So 4 years old, and that's when I actually ran my first competition with a dog. So dog was fully trained by my grandfather, and I pretty much walked with the dog through the trial because the dog already knew what's he doing, what she's doing. And so that was my big appearance in public. 4 years old, right?
Wow.
But I vividly remember being in Grandpa's house playing. I can describe you every single detail about things that were on the floor, what I was doing, when the dog was under a couch, and I was giving her a little like a Lego bone. What I was telling her, what Grandpa was telling me, I remember that moment like it happened literally yesterday.
Wow.
And I was somewhere between 3 and 4 years old.
That's crazy. Miniature schnauzer.
So yeah, it's way back down
Way
there.
back there.
Yes.
The at what age do you think that you were conscious of your ability? Like, so if you, when you're between 3 and 4, 2 and 4, if it's going in that you have this ability, you're able to connect. At what age? Probably then. When you're 4, you're like, wow, I'm good at this. This is really something that I'm passionate about. Or was it
So look, I could barely do stuff and walk
feed
around.
yourself?
I was I took again. I was about 3-4 years old. That's another moment I remember really good. There were a piece of woods laying on the backyard, and we had little puppies, and those puppies were always running away from me, right? So I, come to those puppies, and those miniature schnauzers, small puppies. I come there, German Shepherds too, actually. And I come there, they always run. I was so mad that they run away from me, so I wanted to, fence them in. So I took all these piece of woods, and I took nails and hammer, and I put up together like a little cage.
Like a corral?
Build
kinda?
it. It looked like shit. It had holes. It wouldn't hold a cow, wouldn't hold nothing. But I still did that, and until my grandfather was having such a blast with that. And then he actually built me like a box so I can be in the box with them puppies.
That's awesome.
But yeah, those little things I remember. That was great.
The Australia trip, you're in high demand. We talked about this last time you were on. I mean, you train all over the country. You're based here in the DFW Metroplex, but you train all over the country. You've trained internationally. We'll just use this Australia experience as an example. How did they hear of you, and then how did they connect with you in order to set that whole training 10 days up down under?
So that was those guys. I do conferences. There's 3 biggest world conferences in the world for law enforcement military. 2 are called Police K9 Magazine, Police K9 Conference. That one is in Nashville. In Las Vegas. And then there's a K9 Cup, and that one is in Nashville. And then there's the third one is called HITS. So I teach. I'm one of a very few instructors at those biggest conferences. So I have people come into my classes from all over the world. On one of my pages, you can see that we have, in my class, there's guys from Switzerland, Sweden, Greece, Mexico, everywhere. So the Special Forces and SAS guys were in my class in Nashville conference. And before that, those guys saw me on the other conference too. So they were just interested. They liked what I was showing there. And then there was another gentleman in Australia. He's working with the military forces there, and he's the one that put it all together.
That's awesome. They reach out to you. They say, we want you to come down and train with, you said, the military police, special forces,
Air Force,
the Air Force,
and infantry.
And the infantry. And were you doing like 2 days with one company, 2 days with another, or did you have them all there for all 10 days, all in one place?
So I don't know how much I can say about this or not,
Yeah.
but it was really well organized, and we had 20 plus, 25, 30. I'm not really sure about the number.
Handlers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, from different companies.
Were you guys working on mostly like training and control? Were you focusing down, if you can't get too detailed on this?
We worked on a lot of things.
On a lot
of things.
I'm curious about how dogs are being used worldwide to curb or stem the flow of fentanyl, which is getting everywhere. It's just a synthetic form of heroin that comes from China. Is that something that is hard to train? Maybe a dog that's already trained to sniff out other types of drugs, is that hard to retrain a dog to, or are they already so smart and so keen on you or whoever's training them that I
see where you're getting at. So,
yeah.
so
Because it's synthetic. They make it with like chemicals. Like, how do you even? I know dogs.
They everything has an odor. Everything every molecule that exists has an odor. So it does have an odor. Actually, strong for the dog is strong odor. Fentanyl. Most agencies do not want to teach the dogs to detect fentanyl at all.
Why?
Liability. Right? So either you have to have absolutely flawless training when it's very similar to explosive detection, right? So if you imagine dog is smelling the odor just vaguely, am I saying it right?
Vaguely.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yep. You're good.
You need to teach the dog to immediately back up and give you the alert and do not go any closer. Because the regular most common practice in United States for detection narcotics is teaching the dog to find a source. Well, at the moment when dog finds a source and it is a fentanyl, he might die.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah, I didn't really think.
So it's the same thing
so
like with
potent that.
Yes. I as I was driving up here, I just saw as a news that police officer almost died. She did search in the vehicle, touched a fentanyl, immediately just through the skin, overdosed, and she was on a bad way. So
Wow.
so you have to immediately administer a Narcan and try to do what you can. But with dogs, it's very dangerous because if a dog is looking for a source, gets to fentanyl and sniffs it in through his nose, when you have millions of vessels, immediately goes into the system, dog overdoses. And because they have, 40, 50, 60 pounds, not like 250 pounds, that little amount will kill them.
I wish 250. I'm working on it.
I decided to be nice today.
You look like you're gonna hit 250 pretty soon.
No,
Jesus Christ, throwing the strongman logs around. Okay, so the sensitivity. We know a dog has heightened senses compared to a human. We can't even really comprehend how much more sensitive their noses are than a human's, right? Like, or can you say the Malinois that you work with a lot, their sense of smell is how many times more acute or more specific than a human's sense of smell?
So look, it's many times. Obviously, we cannot
like 10 times more?
No, it's actually 40 to 60 times more.
That's just crazy.
It's unbelievable. I was working with people on a research about the sensitivity of the dog's nose, and we got to the point where we held our palm 5 centimeters above the table
Okay.
for 5 seconds and then walked away, and the dog came and was able to detect and show where exactly that hand was held.
How long after you removed your hand and walked away did the dog have to come find exactly where the hand was?
So we walked out the room, got the dog. So you're talking about maybe 3-4 minutes.
That's insane.
So
They're
basically,
pulling a scent right out of midair then.
no, actually you have molecules that your body sheds molecules all the time.
So is it bouncing off the table?
So
and that's
the
what
molecules will fall off that hand and go on that table, and the dog is capable of sniffing or smelling those molecules of your body
So if
without
there's
even touching it.
That's insane. The sense of smell 40, 60 times more, somewhere in there. The sense of hearing also way more acute than a human's sense of hearing.
Correct. Yes.
Our viewers or listeners might know about dog whistles, right?
Yes.
We can't hear a dog whistle
Ultrasound. Yeah.
because it's too high. It's like 3 or 4 octaves above what we can even hear. But a dog, that could drive a dog crazy. A dog whistle, right?
Well, I'm actually glad you're talking about it.
Yeah.
I'd like to, take a detour here a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you ever see how people are yelling at the dog trying to make him listen?
Sure.
I was always wondering why. Dog hears, 20 times better than we do.
That's a really good point.
So
You know what that reminds me of? So a lot of my good friends are Hispanic guys, help us out with our work, great dudes.
Yeah.
When we have them on a job site, usually 2 or 3 of the supervisors speak great English, no problem.
Okay.
Sometimes the client comes out, they think maybe there's a problem and they try to speak English
Really loud.
but then they can't understand, so they just get louder. Don't you think that's kind of what's happening with the dogs, right?
Something.
So you're trying to communicate to a dog like don't beg for table scraps. But maybe as a human we all get emotional and angry, and then we just escalate the voice where the dogs can sense, right? When you're not happy with their behavior, a dog can
absolutely.
sense that.
Oh, you can sense it too, right?
Yes.
If your wife ain't happy, you sense it too,
Well,
right?
yes. But I just think that people don't understand how intuitive dogs especially are.
So, yes and no. Okay. You have to understand that animals live in a world of consequences. Okay? So, in the nature, that animal learns immediately in a split of a second because of the consequences. Why the animal learns? Because nature is absolutely black or white, right?
Yes.
Black and white. So this is either no-go, hard pass, you're going to die, and this is go, this is how you survive. There's nothing in the between.
No gray area.
No gray area. In our world, that's the biggest problem because people cannot clearly communicate to the animals. Right, so I just recently saw, I got a customer, video from a customer, and that lady has a Belgian Malinois, 5 months old. 5 months old, it's a baby, okay? So that little shit is coming at that lady, trying to bite her. Ooh. Like she's coming viciously with everything she has, right?
Damn.
And the lady just holds her and says, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am."
That's not a black and white consequence.
Absolutely not. Right? What would in nature would happen? A dog would get smacked that he would end up in rolling half a mile down the road.
Yeah.
Right? That's what happened in the nature.
Yeah.
That's the only thing the dog understands in that moment. But no, ma'am, and holding the dog by the collar, letting him enjoy his, power trip, is doing nothing but the dog is trying harder. The dog is learning, just try harder. Like next time, I'm going to get her next time. All right? And now this is going on and on. Dog has no consequence. What's the dog going to grow into?
Yeah.
Right?
A dog that kills that lady in the middle of the night is what it's going to grow into.
That's going to grow into a dog that when next time she wants to take her food away or something, she's going to end up in the hospital
shooting a finger off
with 15 stitches.
Fuck.
What's going to happen to the dog?
Put it down, probably.
Absolutely. Dog's going to be put down. Now, whose fault is that?
The owner.
One slap and dog would be good for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So again, animals live in a black and white. Be clear, make yourself clear, and we'll be good.
The Belgian Malinois is really a trending breed right now, right? You see, like, obviously law enforcement, military's been using them for years, but I'm talking about like in public, like with civilians, like John Jones, UFC. John Jones has.
Yeah, he's got Dutchie.
Yeah, and so it's really trendy to get one of those. So you will see these they're awesome dogs. They're little raptors, man. They're crazy.
So
you got one out in your truck?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember last time when you had her jump up on? It was on this table. But it was slippery.
Yeah,
and then she jumped right back. She turned in midair.
That's the dog I'm using for demos, right? So you see a lot of videos there. But I do have a puppy right now. But remember, and I'm glad you mentioned this because this is becoming a big problem.
Yeah.
And I have many customers actually. I wanna continue with what's the issue right now. Not only choosing the wrong breed for people to have at home. Belgian Malinois was designed and bred for its power, for its speed, for its nervous system. Belgian Malinois have a little faster nervous system than any other dog.
What does that do to enhance their performance?
That means that if you're strong, it's my father, you're strong, it's bad. But if you're not crazy, that's even worse. Okay? So fast nervous system means that they don't really pay attention too much to pain. They don't pay really much attention to, it's hard to tell them no. Because that's the moment when somebody blacks out and just is willing to run through the wall.
They see red almost.
That's it. So that's Belgian Malinois,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Once they want something, their nervous system spins out and they don't see. They're blacked out, like red, and that's it. This is the bull time. So that's why that dog is not really ideal for having pets.
So we have people, and we talked about this before we went on. We're going to talk about this a lot today. There's this big problem with people who got new puppies when the cold came out in fall of 2020.
Yeah. So,
but what did you say? They're just not properly socialized.
So right now we're having big flood of dogs coming in. We have opened up new program, pet program.
Yep.
So until now, we were doing only law enforcement dogs, military. Now we have decided to open up a pet program. So we did, and the biggest clientele comes from dogs that I call them COVID dogs.
Yep.
It means when COVID hit, a lot of people were locked down. Right, couldn't walk. We had those lockdowns. We couldn't go anywhere.
2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
2 weeks to flatten the curve. Bro.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean, dog.
I don't know. So, yeah, we all ended up pretty flat after 2 years. Anyway, so those dogs, the people bought puppies to be entertained at home. But they couldn't take him outside. So the dogs didn't see the outside world. They couldn't socialize. They couldn't learn that being stupid on public brings consequences. They couldn't meet other people. So now these dogs are coming out and they see strange people and they're afraid of them and end up biting out of fear. Yeah. So
the dog is afraid.
The dog is afraid
because they've never. This is a sensory overload type fight or flight.
Look, so animals in the nature, if they don't understand something, like they see some the camera, right? Like, what the hell is this? That could kill me.
Might be a threat.
Because in the nature, small spider will kill you. Snake will kill you. Everything, and anything can kill you in the nature. So in the nature, every animal, if people think that wolves are so brave and walk up into everything, no, hell no, it's not like that. You know, animals think twice, because even a little scratch in the nature can get you inflammation, can get you bleeding. Bleeding exposes you to outside environment. You get killed by another pack, and so animals are very, very careful in the nature. And if you ever see how wolves are in reality, you'll be actually surprised. Everybody believes that wolves are these brave badasses. Absolutely, on the contrary.
They're really cautious.
Very cautious. Take a long time before they make a move. They watch you, and they'll be watching you for 2 days before they make a move on you, if they believe that you are strong or could be dangerous. So, so again, if you don't take animals out and socialize them correctly, and they don't understand what it is, they're afraid of it. And then the response in the nature in dogs is to a fear is only two things: fight or flight. Yeah, the biggest problem now is that the dog is so confident having you behind his ass like his daddy that he will make the decision to fight in that fear, and those are the bad bites out of fear.
So their hypothalamus, their frontal lobe it's giving them only two options when something that is foreign to them confronts them. Fight it, so attack it, or flee, run away.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so you got a puppy during the cold. The puppy is not trained. At what age is a dog like untrainable? Is that a thing?
So look, you have two things that will affect what your dog will become. One is genetics, and here you go. You just said it. Everybody wants a Malinois. And there is so many people that want to do business out of that, so they start breeding. They just breed anything, right? And because people do not understand genetics, they're causing, it's called genetic pool. And so genetic pool, you need to have as much variety in your DNA as possible. By breeding, inbreeding, line breeding, you closing down the genetic pool. With very small genetic pool in your DNA, animals are prone to bad behaviors, to diseases, cancers, all that stuff, all the bad stuff that you can get from genetics. That's what happens when you have small genetic pool in your DNA.
Is what happened to the German Shepherd?
I was just going to say that.
So that's happening?
Yes.
That's so terrible. What the fuck?
I'll let you guess. Where do you think the German Shepherd has the widest and most broad genetic pool? In what part of the globe? Where would you think would be?
The widest? So not narrow?
The best, the most healthy, and the
Oh, man. Where in the world?
I'm going to help you with that.
Russia?
It's Japan.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Because there's so few of them?
Because I don't know why. But there's a research. You can look it up.
They eat a lot of sushi?
They definitely are up to some fish, that's for sure.
That's right. Rest of the widest is Japan.
So you can, the one that has very broad study on this is Helmut Reiser from Germany.
Yes, I'm familiar with that name. Yeah.
And the University of Cologne. Right, so those did very, very, because Helmut Reiser initiated research, and I still believe he's head of the research about genetic information. So we're actually already have about 200 marks that we're able to identify in DNA that will exactly tell you what color of eyes the dog will have, how big his ears will be. All these informations in DNA, we are already able to identify.
So then basic size, within a half a pound, basic weight, unless there's some sort of maybe just some sort of genetic offshoot when the puppy is born, or maybe it's the alpha. We'll talk about that in a second too, whether that's even a thing, because there's people out there on social media saying that in wolf packs and things. I'll get back to that. You're able to tell, depending on where the dog is bred, pretty much exactly the size and shape that the dog is going to be when it's full grown.
Yes, you can identify a lot of things. Like I said, color of eyes, all these things. You can already, or they are able to identify which DNA marks are tied to that information.
Why do you think that the pool is so wide in Japan compared to anywhere else?
I have no idea. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to speculate, but that's what it is, and that's another thing that Elmwood Riser is trying to accomplish, to get that genetic pool wider. But I think it's too late. I think there's no saving to that. Because
is it too late for the Malinois too? Or it's gonna be.
I think so. I think so because there's several issues, right? First issue is that everybody breeds Malinois today, right? There's a movie that comes out, Max.
Yes.
Then you have John Wick.
Yes.
Where the Malinois are pretty much helicopters and flying through the air. Everybody wants that badass at home, right?
Yes.
So now everybody's buying all these puppies, and obviously demand creates supply, right? So too much of the breeding out there by unknown people, and think about it. A dog lives only 2 years and is capable of reproduction.
Yeah.
Right. So within 10 years, you already have 5 generations. And it only takes 7 generations to completely change the DNA.
Really?
Take it, just think about it. If you put German Shepherd and Pitbull together, right? First litter. And next litter is going to be done by Pitbull, and the next litter is going to be done by Pitbull. In 7 generations, you're going to have a pure Pitbull again.
Oh, yeah. That's fast math, though. That math is fast.
It multiplies. It really multiplies.
Compounding. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So imagine if people here within 10 years breed in Malinois that do not to be bred. It's thousands and thousands of dogs that reproduce in worse and worse and worse blood. Now, that's one problem, right? Massive breeding with lack of knowledge. Another problem is that because today's social media and the fancy world of social media, people love to breed champions. Okay? So this dog won a championship here. World champion in IGP, world champion in Monday Ring, right? The problem is that the knowledge about training is so good nowadays that you can train even piece of shit to be a champion. The genetics is not what got him to be a champion. The mastery or the skill of trainer got him to be a champion. So now, because everybody wants to have that badass, as daddy of his puppies, they're going to breed him. So now you have massive numbers of people that are using that one champion. What are you doing now? Hundreds and hundreds of dogs are using the same daddy.
Wow.
Now your genetic
problem.
pool is going down.
Way down. It's probably not solvable then, much like what's happened to the German Shepherd breed. I mean, it's probably not on a wide scale solvable because greed pushes this this greed. Having one of those dogs is a status symbol now. It seems like
Absolutely.
it's certainly something you put up, like you would put up a
Just
picture of your Pterodyne Gurkha truck, a picture of your Rolex, and a picture of your.
There you go. You have these movies. You had
the movies. Yeah.
What was that movie? There's a show. It's called The State is the Enemy or something like that.
Enemy of the State with Will Smith?
Well, that's another movie, right? But no, but that was a German Shepherd. I don't remember.
I remember growing up. Do you remember this? Because we're about the same age. Do you remember the show Rin Tin Tin?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because that's what they say. That just blew up the
German Shepherd
for
right?
the German Shepherd.
Yeah, absolutely. But nowadays, having a Malinois is like the social,
it's
like
very trendy.
Very trendy. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So unfortunately, it happens with everything, though. Right now, we're working on working breeds only, right? But imagine the Labradors. Imagine small pets like Shih Tzus. Like we have beautiful pets right now in our training program. That owners brought us for training, and I remember as a younger trainer, those breeds were on point. They were strong. Nowadays, people bring us pets, and they bring us boxes, literally boxes of boxed up food. What they can and cannot eat, and special amounts, and they bring bunch of pills with them too. Well, so this customer comes in, and this lady is very concerned owner, and so she wants the best for the dog, and she brings special food that they receive from the vet. And she brings also pills. I said, "What's those pills for?" She says, "Well, she's fighting with diarrhea, and she's been fighting." I said, "For how long?" She said, "Well, it's been a while. We've been using it a while." And it just blows your mind because here you go with pets, those, I don't want to say degenerated, but it's the genetics are so weak that the dogs are having issues. They're allergic to things. It's just crazy. And again, who knows anything about breeding of these particular breeds? Nobody. When you go buy this little fluffy, beautiful dog, do you worry about them parents? No, it's just cute. Let me have it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some people are looking at that folder. If you get the AKC folder, and you might see the sire lines or whatever, but I mean, you don't.
Nobody really does this study.
Like, do you go research that and do background checks on the breeder?
You would be surprised how many times people brought me dogs, Belgian Malinois, for example, and I found that they have the same stuff 3 times in that pedigree.
Holy shit.
That's some West Virginia stuff.
Speaking of, huh, Jess?
Yeah, brother. What was that? What was that story, Sohail? Just quickly, Rogan. Did you see that? You keep up with Rogan's podcast very much?
No, not really. But
Well, has this guy on? He's a amazing photographer, and he goes and interviews a lot of the homeless people on Skid Row in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So he'll tell this story because we were just talking about that inbreeding.
Yeah, so there's this family called the Whitakers in, I think, West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll pull them up.
Somewhere in the Appalachians.
Oh, yeah?
Probably.
It made, we were talking about how we always make inbreeding jokes, but then when you actually see it and realize how real it is,
No doubt about it.
how messed up and abusive,
Is this them?
this is them, yeah.
And what's the it's a whole bunch of people and they all have the same aunt and uncle, right?
Yeah, so I think they don't like to talk about it. Well, most of them aren't mentally capable of talking about it.
So this is the human result of rampant inbreeding.
Okay, so yeah, this sounds exactly perfect. And
Actually, you should watch this, Leo, because the one guy, Ray, he is he only communicates through barks. I'll try to find it, but because he only
how he
spent
talks.
time with the dogs.
Yeah.
I can probably put subtitles on what he's saying.
You are the ultimate dog. But so what we're seeing here with humans absolutely happens with dogs.
100%.
This
But
is
you-
Ray.
Oh.
Can y'all hear it?
Yeah, I turned up a little.
Maximilian on one hand, Perez on the other, and bandits in between. On top of that were Americans in Mexico taking a caddy of horses to a very unpopular.
I heard him there right at the beginning.
Well,
That's good, Kenneth.
Yeah, how you doing, Mark?
Excellent.
So yeah, he only
Again,
communicates with barks
We get,
and
yeah,
noises
we get
like
the
that.
point. Man, that's a really hard thing to watch. Here's the weird thing, though. This
But
is
it's
a question.
beautiful.
for-
They're all happy. I mean,
True. But when you're looking at the dog, can you tell just by looking? So we can tell by looking at this poor guy that something has not gone right in terms of his breeding. But when you look at a dog, can
Absolutely.
you, as an expert,
Absolutely.
you can
Yes.
pick
Yeah.
pick that up? Right?
It takes me literally just a few minutes of interaction.
You
with the dog, or just
know
watching
something
the
is
dog.
wrong.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What do you?
So
Is this
so dogs have all animals, all living creatures for that matter, well, especially animals have instincts, right? They operate on instincts, and those instincts cause reactions to stimuli out there. The way the dog reacts or does not react to certain stimuli tells you at what state is his mind and the set of instincts he has.
So the development has been stunted by the fact that that his genetics were not that didn't flow properly. That somewhere in there's inbreeding that has cut the branch, or
Somewhere in there, the genetics are not the way it's supposed to be, and we can go and do research. Why is that? Because there's two things, right? So animals gonna react certain way because of lack of exposure or experience, and then because of lack of instincts or other genetical misplacements. Does it make sense?
it does.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at.
Could you take a wolf pup out of the wild right now, take him, bring him to your facility, and train that dog to be a house pet?
So look, you can accomplish that the wolf will eventually live with you, but you cannot make. But the way of lifestyle and the way of his reaction and overall the general behavior will not ever become pet-like. Again, it takes several generations
To get there,
to get there, right? I can
because you got to breed that all the way out. Then the wild, all the way out.
absolutely.
Can a fully domesticated? Let's just go back to the Malinois since that's what we're talking about. And I'm fascinated by them. I mean, they're amazing animals, but I'm also disturbed by the fact that an animal is now a status symbol, like everything in our civilization is.
If I may, can we go back to
Yeah.
the COVID dogs?
Yeah.
Did we talked about that?
Yes.
Did we?
We're kind of like in the middle of it now. That they have a fight or flight. They're not
It's kind of like the kids who
they're not
are-
socialized.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you're getting these calls from people who have tried to take these COVID dogs to other trainers. And what did you say? Well, before we went on, we were talking before, you said like these other trainers are like, I don't fucking know what to do. I can't fix this.
Correct. So there's a lot of when the COVID hit and people didn't socialize their dogs. Nowadays, there's a lot of these dogs that are aggressive, right? The only reason they're aggressive is fear. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's an aggressive dog." No, No, that's just his tool, how to fight with being scared shitless. It's pretty cool, man. Like a few months ago, I could not say this, shitless, scared shitless.
Yeah.
I guess I'm still...
Scared shitless, you've been working on that one?
I'm still developing my English.
Your
I guess.
English is awesome. Actually, you said last time you were on the podcast, you're like, I don't think that was very good. And I told you, that was fucking awesome.
No, man, I couldn't watch it. My daily
It was
bitch.
great.
Oh, no.
It was
Okay.
awesome.
I hit myself on the camera. and
Well,
all.
this
Well,
time's really good.
I think
yeah.
I think that I think if someone likes the way they sound or look on camera, that they're probably a shitty person.
Okay.
Okay, so like I can't listen to my shit.
No?
They're like the team will send me clips and I'm like I can't do it. I mean this
Yeah,
just doesn't
yeah.
work for me.
Yeah.
I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound.
I saw
like
I saw that picture of me on that TV here a second
Yeah.
ago. I was like, holy
You looked
shit,
away
I'm about
really
to walk
fast.
away.
That means you're a good dude, man, which I already know, but no, your first one was badass. What so when people are calling it, are you getting most
So-
of your people that are having this problem are
So look, there's one thing I want to tell and whoever is out there listening about their dogs and he's seeing the problems I just described. The dog is that's what I'm talking about. Holy shit.
just
Turn on this.
yeah. Just look at the rugby ball.
Yeah,
You're good.
okay.
Yeah.
So when people are watching this and they say, yeah, my dog is aggressive, my dog is, biting and all that, it actually happens that the dog would harm even the family members.
Fuck.
So people say, so here, check this out, okay? This is the most important thing. People would say, but he's known us his entire life. Yeah, that's what people say.
Yeah.
But the dog has known us. We had him since puppy. There's no reason he would be afraid of us. If you will not teach your child how to communicate, and you don't teach him English, you don't teach him write and read, can you effectively communicate with the child and give him all information?
No.
Okay. If you cannot effectively teach him communicate, will the dog find himself in a moment of confusion?
Yeah, uncertain.
There you go. What did we just say a minute ago?
Yeah, fight or flight.
If I'm not really sure what's going on, I'm in the state of fight or flight.
Yeah. That's just so unfair
Okay.
to the dog.
So think about this. How do you speak to your dog?
I mean,
When you talk to your dog,
yeah,
how do you talk to him?
I talk to him like in a real friendly tone. I'll be
Okay.
like, "Oh, buddy, let's go outside."
Okay, but you speak to him in English, right?
Yeah, I do.
Animals don't fucking speak English.
That's right. True story. So what's the solution then?
Animals don't speak
They don't
English.
speak English.
Okay,
Would it not be the? Have you ever tripped really hardcore on mushrooms and felt like you could talk to a dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I
I
did.
gotta
I
hear
did.
about that.
Okay, so check this out. Animals don't speak any language at all. What is animals' language?
They're just what they're sensing.
Is anybody out there? What is animals' language?
Oh, what is the animal?
We all have dogs, but we can't say what is their language, right?
right.
Their primary language in nature is body language.
Body language.
So you've ever seen those two dogs meet,
Yes.
right? And then ears up,
No.
tail up.
No.
They look like they're about to fight. And then one of those dogs start wiggling the tail.
Yeah.
And this one looks at the tail, goes like, oh,
We're
so
good.
you want to be buddy. So now they tilt their heads a little bit, right? I was like, okay, well, I'll let you sniff me first, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like that. You smell good. Can we be friends? Right? Or it's going to be ears up, and then ears go slowly down, back. And it's like, oh, shit.
And they'll get.
He's about to fight.
Is that when they'll sometimes the heads will come to the side and they're
when,
just
when the heads go to the side,
you're okay?
that's a called calming signal.
Interesting.
That's called calming signal. Once their heads like straight up
And they're staring.
and they're staring and the tail does not move, that's when it's bad, right? So let's go back. Let's not lose that.
Hey,
Sorry.
you're good.
What? Yeah.
Little misfire. I don't know.
misfire.
It was probably me saying
Well-
something stupid. He likes to play really dumb shit, especially if I have female guests on here. He plays ridiculous shit. Play some of that real quick. So Hill.
Oh, hold on. Before
Yes,
we lose
let's
this,
talk-
let me
yes,
just
no,
finish this
dial
so
in.
people don't
Yep.
lose this. So natural language of animals is body language, right? Do you know how to explain your dog? What do you mean by certain body language?
No.
There you go. You already lost it.
Cocaine and the booze together.
I'm so sorry. I hit that when you
The-
told me to.
The learning how to communicate to the dog with body language doesn't seem like
So
something.
look, so the camera has on me, right?
Yes.
So let me show you this real quick, man. Check this out. So let's assume this is the dog, yeah?
Yep.
That's the dog, right?
Yep.
Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Frontal position of an animal to an animal is what?
Through a threat.
There you go. So your body language is telling him, I'm about to mess you up,
Oh wow.
right?
So what's
But
the
your words and your brain believes that you're friendly to the dog.
what's the better way to approach the
What happens many times, check this out, what happened many times when the puppy finally goes to you, put him on a carabine,
Yeah.
on a leash, he goes like, oh, fuck.
Oh.
This is what it means.
Now I'm
when he's leaned forward to me, it's never good. So now you're leaning forward. Come here, baby, come here. Right? Your body tells him you're in danger, right? And he's not coming. What are you going to do? You're going to get emotional. You're going to get pissed. You're going to raise your voice. You're going to start being, moo.
Get over here.
Now he 100% knows
Yeah.
that this is no good position. So your body screams at him, I'm about to lie to you. I'm about to lie to you and do something bad to you. But your brain is like, I don't understand. This stupid dog doesn't listen to me. Why not? I feed him every day, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so good to him. I just took you for a 2-hour walk. You're not listening to me. No, because your body language tells him, I'm about to mess you up.
Does that relate to like when dogs pull on walks?
Yeah, when they're pulling on their leash on a walk.
So no.
That's a great question. I have that on my list that I was looking at last night.
So look, check this out. When your body language with the animals and the entire behavior you do with the animals is not really clear to him. Imagine you guys are dating someone that you cannot stand to be with that gal in one room because you two just don't see eye to eye. How fast you gonna be looking for a door?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm out of here, man.
Right.
Sayonara, right?
Yeah.
Well, if dog is confused around you all the time, and then he has the opportunity to bail, what do you expect he's gonna do? Walk right next to you because he hates your guts?
Wow.
Make him to where he wants to be with you, and he's not pulling nowhere.
The learning to communicate to the dog with body language instead of with words, which they can't.
So look,
Can they understand the difference in tone? Your tone, though,
absolutely
for sure.
But look, it's just like babies, right? Unless you explain them, like when I came to this country, I had no idea what's the difference between. I didn't know that there's a difference between white and black people.
Okay,
To me, it was the same.
they're just people.
It was like dude and dude. It was like gull and gull. I didn't understand there's a difference until I come to United States and everybody start talking about it's a problem and black people this and white people this. I learned there's a difference between these people when I came to U.S. Before I came to U.S., to me, it's just people. On the contrary, a little bit, I always knew that, like black dudes are a little bit more like physically gifted, so like they're awesome athletes, all that. But I didn't understand there is a difference. I didn't know that I need to be careful doing some things differently than I would normally do around certain people. in my country, we were just one people. There's no difference.
Interesting.
No difference. First time I learned about this change is when I was a young kiddo, came here to Florida, St. Petersburg, and I was boxing back then. I was 16 years old or whatever, something like that. And I said my tank top and go downtown St. Petersburg in Florida, right? And I drive and I found this boxing club. I walk into the boxing club. Again, from Europe, I didn't know there's a difference. Walk into the boxing club and the whole boxing club stopped. I was like, oh, that's kind of odd. Okay, whatever. I go straight to the coach. Say, hey, I heard this is the best boxing club around. I want to learn. I want to be a best boxer. He took me to his office. He goes like, are you out of your mind? Are you trying to die? I was like, what do you mean? Like, what? I just want to train. And that guy first time ever explained me that I was not welcome to that part of the city. I said, well, you're the best. I want to learn. I don't care. I was the first white guy that trained in that club.
Really?
And actually, one of my best friends have become some of those guys because I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? Going back to dogs. So when you establishing communication with the dog, you have to first understand his language. And then once you understand his language, teach him yours. Mm. So only then you will have two-way of communication. Mm. Communication is two-way. It's two channels. Speak and listen. You have to know both. And that's about very successful, or that's about a solid foundation with your animal. If you don't have that, you have to put your dog to, and that's another point we should talk about. You have to put bring your dog to a dog school where they're going to kind of subsidize the lack of foundation you did.
What you don't know, you take your dog to someone qualified, and we'll talk about how to find someone qualified, because that's a fucking big hurdle that people don't really realize.
It's a big scam in the United States a lot.
And then when you do find someone qualified, such as yourself, they're going to supplement everything you did with more of the right stuff that you don't even know you didn't do right.
So your job as a good trainer is to first introduce and translate the human language and what's going on in the world and introduce it to the dog. Get him familiar with our world. Because they're not born and they go like, okay, that's a couch, I cannot touch that because that's mommy's. That's shoes, I cannot touch those, right? Dog needs to be explained this. But first, if you want to explain him whatever or anything, you have to learn how to speak with your dog. And you have to make sure that when you speak, he understands what you're saying. Right? So, yes. So people don't know. They make a lot of mistakes in the foundation, and then they take their dogs to professional trainer. Professional trainer, right? The biggest problem is that there's a lot of trainers, people that learn very fast pace, one-time trainer course. And they learn how to suppress certain behaviors of dogs, right? You have two ways. Look, pretty simple. Teaching dog heal. Simple healing, right? You can suppress in the dog the desire to go anywhere else but in your heel. Or you can make him love, desired, the place next to your leg. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah.
You suppress to live outside that one spot. Or outside is good, but this is way better.
Attracting.
There you go.
Negative versus positive reinforcement.
So do you understand?
Yeah.
So a lot of most trainers out there are suppressing certain behaviors, but breaking the spirit of the dog. Okay.
Yeah, you talked about that last time.
So why, if you talk to a lot of our customers, we are in certain market that if we want to be competitive, we have to follow the market. So there are programs, 2 weeks training class and 3 weeks, board and train and all that. We do have that, but I can tell you right now, there is no way that you can train dog without breaking his spirit in such a short time. So every customer that comes to us, I tell them, look, you're paying for this amount of time. It might get longer, but you're not going to pay for an extension of time. You're paying for result, not for the time the dog being with me. And if I believe that dog needs more time, I will give him more time. You cannot, look, dogs are not computers. They're not robots. You cannot program, look, in 2 weeks, you're going to learn this, or what? You're going to do what?
Yeah.
Beat his ass, or what are you going to do?
Right.
Take it even with kids. Some kid in half the semester is capable of grasping all the mathematics. Some kid, it takes whole semester to get it, right? So same thing with dogs. Some dogs naturally is going to be more intelligent. Some dogs going to be less intelligent. Some dogs going to have big heart, and even you've put a lot of training on him, he still go. But some dog cannot take more than just 1-2 trainings a day. So what are you going to do?
They have like different bandwidth.
Absolutely.
Do you find that to be true in a premier working breed like the Malinois breed too? You may have 2 dogs out of the same litter, but they both have a little bit of a different band. Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
They're
usually,
not just little robots.
Usually from the litter you have 2 strong pups, and rest of it is not so strong. Some are stronger, some weaker. It's never going to be the same. But it is important to understand that animals have limits. And if you trying to satisfy the customer and go over the limits, the capacity of what the dog is capable of taking, you will accomplish 2 things. The dog will hate the process of learning. The dog understands that problem is coming out of the human. The problem, the discomfort is coming from when we train with the dog, and it all shows when the dog goes back home. Because now you have a dog that he will listen for a certain time until he realizes that he gets away with it for not listening, but he listens out of fear. So the dog that you say that you love that much, you just allowed that some trainer broke his spirit just so he satisfies you seeing that dog doing that heel in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the time limit is a real son of a bitch there.
So that's why we basically copy that what's out there on the market. But the first thing I will tell you when you come do evaluation with me and I see where the dog is at, I say, listen, this might take longer. You will not pay for it, but I will only push the animal to its comfort zone, right? I don't need to be teaching, especially non-working breed dogs, to push them out of the comfort zone to where the teaching for them is just pain.
And it turns into like a concentration camp for them.
Absolutely.
So you're able to tell their limits by learning their body language, and then you're intuitively reading what they can take and what they're grasping?
Absolutely. So there's several factors. There are several factors that plays into all the learning process, right? Take it even human kids. If you take 10 human kids, you take them somewhere to a summer camp, some kiddo is going to be shy for 2 weeks before kind of starts opening up. Some kiddos, they'll be like up and running in 2 days. We're like, all right, cool, let's go. This is my new home. Let's rock and roll. Dogs are the same thing. So if the dog usually leaves that cozy house and mama and daddy, he needs some time to readjust, to open up, to start. Okay, I'm listening to what you're saying. It kind of makes sense. Okay, I got it. You like this? Before the dog starts cooperating with me, it takes some time.
You're probably you're creating this rapport with this dog that you're going to train, and then you're also confirming to the dog, I'm not going to kill you. You don't know me. You're in this new place. You're sleeping in this kennel. You've never new smell, new everything.
Absolutely. So one of the instincts we're looking at with animals is one of them is adaptability. Some dogs have very high adaptability. No matter where you throw them, Belgian Malinois, you can take my dog. Some of my dogs, you can take Belgian Malinois from a handler that the dog has been with for 3 years. Then if you have a ball, that sucker's gonna work with you a split of a second immediately, like you are his owner, right? With pets, it's not so much. Again, this is genetics and instincts we're working with, and you have to be very cautious and very. You have to pay attention to what's in front of you. So throwing out there that this is the type of exercise we're gonna do in 3 weeks. It's always gonna come at cost of the animal. You're happy, but and I understand. I'm pretty, and that's why I never became rich. I'm the. People say I'm the dog whisperer, but the dog is on first place. It's first to me, not the customer, not me, not my wallet, not the customer's feelings. The dog is on the first place. So if I see the dog needs more time, he's getting more time. Am I doing it for free? Absolutely. Am I losing money? Absolutely. But I just can't do it a different way. I just can't.
Do you have people who bring their pet dogs to you? So these house pet dogs, especially this new business that you've opened, you're helping them out. Do you connect at a different level with different dogs sometimes? Sometimes.
Absolutely. So look. So eventually.
So that's very similar to how humans connect. Then.
Yes. But eventually, I connect with every single animal, every single one of them. That understanding and that connect between me and the dogs happen really quickly. And some dogs is instant. Why? Because usually I'm the first human that makes freaking sense to them. The way I move my body, the way I react to them, the way I let them speak to me, and when they say something, I react to what they just did. They go like, this dude freaking understands me. So that very often happens instantly. So very often I have customers that they come and they have issues with their dogs. And I tell the dog, and the dog instantly starts functioning flawlessly. Sometimes it's kind of like hurtful to them.
Sure.
But they're happy that the dog found himself. And so your responsibility as the trainer of the pets is to educate the owners about how to communicate with the dog.
It's a lot like, have you ever gone and sat with like a counselor or like a psychiatrist or a psychologist? Have you ever gone and talked to someone? I've talked to counselors before, and there's got to be some similarity when counselors, that's what they do for a living, is try to help fix humans. I would imagine their counselors, if you sat them down and they were honest, you would say, like, you have to have had patients that you've sat with that you remember years later because there's just something different about. I'm not like even talking about the negative. I'm just talking like there was a connection there that.
No, that's the same thing with.
Yeah.
Same thing with human.
That's
human life. How many times did you see your wife or girlfriend screaming, yelling, being pissed? But if you understand and you connected with her, you really know that she's hurting.
Right.
That's why she's being mean. She's mean because she's hurting. Same thing with dogs.
Yeah.
He's biting you, but he's biting you only because he's scared. And there's many other things. Dog does not want to come to me. Well, that asshole has got selective hearing. He plays deaf,
Right. Yeah.
No, you just gave him so much bullshit that he can't take it no more.
Interesting.
Simple.
We when I reached out to you a few months ago and was just asking you general questions about crate training. When someone brings you a puppy, like they just got the puppy and they're like, "Can you help us?" Do you recommend to them that setting up the crate? Is that
Great question. I love that you asked that question. So look, there's you have to understand that animals again are they need structure in their life, right? They need structure. What is a structure even for us humans? In the morning we wake up, we go somewhere, we do something, we have some responsibilities, we get tired, we get home. Coming home is one of your structures.
Yes.
Right?
Sleeping in your bed.
Having that shelter, sleeping in your bed, having things in your bathroom where you want them to be, right? Imagine that you come home, oh no, there's no home. Imagine that you have nowhere to go. You don't know nobody. There's nothing you can do. Literally a life of homeless. Imagine that. It's not about not having the shelter, but it's having no program, nothing to live for. There's no nothing that would drive you forward. What does that do to your mind? You go completely insane. You start drinking and you just want to die.
Yeah.
Right? That structure for animals is extremely important. Certain program, responsibilities, because the instincts that the dog is born with, they are designed to fulfill a task. So if you don't employ those instincts, it's just like a kiddo that's got too much money and start taking drugs because life is just boring.
Because it's like easy and they've never...
Mentally, they cannot handle it. It's so depressing on your mind if you don't have structure that even you as a human start folding down. That's why veterans need to have goal, need to have a mission that they need to focus on. And that takes all the fucked up things out of their head because now they are on a mission. Like, I gotta go, I got reason, I got to do it.
Productivity.
There you go.
They, especially veterans, they've been trained to complete a task.
Well, the veterans had a structure given by someone.
Right.
Right? Now you retire, there's no structure. You get a paycheck, but there's no structure. That messes with your mind.
Yeah, you're just supposed to go sit on the couch and
start thinking.
Watch Ellen.
And start your memories coming back, mess with you. Okay? Doesn't make sense? So
you got something, Sohail?
Y'all were going to talk about hyenas, and that's one animal that comes to mind straight up when you talk about structure in animal. I think of hyenas as chaotic. I don't know if you wanted to segue into that or comment on that.
Yeah, we can definitely swing on those hyenas. But so going back to the crates, right? Dog is a den animal. Yeah. They live in the den. Okay? Den is their safety, their sanctuary. That's a place when they can turn off their senses. Because if they're not in the den, they're outside, their ears never turned off. Their nose never turned off. So they can never sleep because they're on lifeguard 24/7. Every second of every bed they take, every second of their being, they're watching what's out there to get them. When they curl up in the den, that's when, just like we close the door, lay in our bed, and relax.
We're safe. They feel safe.
So, on the contrary, when people say, "Oh, that's not humane," that's not all this, you have to.
I'm not doing that to my dog. Right. Yeah.
Well, you would realize that your dog actually relaxes much better in the crate. If you do the crate introduction better, the right way, you leave the door open to your crate, you will realize that when dog gets tired, it walks into the crate by itself and enjoys the time, sleeps really hard, comes out, plays. Right?
Yeah.
We're not saying that you need to have the dog in there screaming, yelling, and let him out for 5 minutes. But training dog is very important for many things. You travel, right? Safety of the dog. You know how many people I see, going highway on the interstate, going 85, and there's a dog loose. Guys, you have never seen obviously this happen, but when you hit the brakes, I've seen a dog to travel through the front windshield out on that highway because they hit the brake. Some stupid driver in front of them did something stupid, and dog literally busted through the windshield, ended up on the road being killed. Okay, so crates are very useful, and animals feel safe in them if you do it right.
On the same topic as that, when you are in a neighborhood and you're in a city, most cities have leash laws, leash protocols. You got to have your dog on a lead. You can't just say your kid. I mean, that's when I have my dog on a leash and your dog is off a leash, does my dog feel vulnerable because it doesn't have the ability to escape and maneuver because it's got this leash on and this other dog is a threat to? Is that a thing?
So yeah, there is a thing. It's called emotions go down the leash. Yeah, a lot of dogs are scared and they acting up, biting, aggressivity, because their handlers are the ones that have problems, right? I'll give you an example. So you have a small puppy, right? 3 months old puppy. There's a big dog coming to you. Dog is friendly as it could be. Big dog coming friendly. What are you going to do?
Well, usually pick my dog up.
There you go. So normal people will pick him up, lift him up, start freaking out. Get that dog, get that dog. I do understand. This is just to show you an example. So now what has the little puppy learned? If Big Mama, who's 10 times bigger than me, or Daddy, freaking out from this thing coming to me, that thing is deadly and dangerous. What's going to happen when the dog is 1 year old? Any dog that's coming? Fear. What fear produces? Fight or flight. Now we have created aggressive dog.
It's unfair, though, if you're in a neighborhood with 100 houses to walk out there with your dog off the leash if everyone else has their dog on the leash, don't you think?
Absolutely not. That's not correct, right?
Really?
So it's not correct to have your dog to go harass someone else.
How do I know your dog, if it's off a leash, isn't coming after my dog, though? How do I know? How do I know to be calm so my dog feels my calm if I've never seen your dog and it's literally running out your front door at me?
Okay, so that's why we have to remember when I said that we have to lay foundation for a puppy, not only teach him about body language, what it means when humans do this and this and this. So now the dog is completely okay, understands this, but also we have to do introduction to dogs as well. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I have a puppy, I'm going to take someone, whether it's my friend or whether it's my other dog or somebody else's dog, that I know is absolutely dog friendly, and I'm going to introduce him to that situation when dog is coming to you, right? So when I did the introduction and dog is already cool with, dog is coming and all that, after that, when dog is already used to it, and you picked him up for safety reasons, but you compose your emotions, there's absolutely no problem with that. That will not have the emotional impact to change down the road. Because we already gone through this. We know dogs are not a problem. We did this once. We maybe do it again sometimes later. But now we are reinforcing that communication. And again, puppies have to learn inter-dog communication as well. But just the first exposure to dogs must be positive, and in a controlled environment, that means where I'm at and the dogs I'm using for it will be all known factors.
You know, I don't think people understand how similar to children little puppy dogs are. Like, you go on your first day of school, you meet your teacher, everyone learns how to sit quietly, get in a line, go to lunch, go play, don't hit, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you bought a dog during COVID and then they don't know how to act around other dogs, and you're unable to control your dog, you're literally threatening the life of your own dog by not handling that problem. Because if your dog bites you or bites someone else, there's a good chance your dog's gonna have to be.
Absolutely. That's again, you said it right. It's just like with children. We have to raise the children, exposing them to people, teaching them how to behave themselves towards older people, how to have respect, how to say hello, my name is so-and-so, how to shake the hand, what it means, how to compose themselves when somebody comes rude to them, how to act when somebody's trying to be aggressive to them, how to de-escalate situation, or eventually how to protect yourself, right? All that we're teaching our children, at least some parents do, which I believe is absolutely necessary. And that's how you need to be with your dog. But the problem is that a lot of owners believe that dogs should know this automatically. Absolutely not. The puppy is green as it gets. You have to introduce him to the world. You have to introduce him to communication. Simple.
Can you explain imprinting? When you get a new puppy, maybe it's a puppy that it's going to be your puppy. Like, you're not training this for another client or for a friend. It's going to be yours. Do you imprint the dog, like with your fingers on its gums and things like that? Do you do any of that? Is that a thing? Is that an old wives' tale? Have you ever even heard of that?
No.
Yeah.
I apologize that I'm checking the phone, but we announced that we're going to do some live calls.
Yes.
And so I was just
You're good.
I was just checking because there were some calls, but it was not because of that.
No worries.
So sorry about that.
No worries. That's something
no.
that's been explained to me that sounded a little far-fetched.
There is so many dumb shit out there. It's unbelievable. Like, never hit your dog with your hand. Always use a towel or paper or newspaper or stupid shit like that.
Is hitting the dog necessary sometimes when you're training it?
Consequences are important, okay? When you say hit the dog, it could be explained different ways, but is it possible, or is there a situation where dog will get maybe a little slap? Yes, maybe. If you do the foundation, you don't really have to do that.
It should never really be necessary.
I have, sometimes it will be. Look, it's just like with humans, man.
Yeah.
Same thing. You have a kiddo that if you sit down to him and explain him stuff, he'll get it. And then you have a kiddo that after you sit down and he's going to spit in your face, and you're going to smack the shit out of him, he's never going to do it again.
Right.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, same thing. Am I going to slap, this little fluffy thing? Absolutely not. Don't need to. Little tap on that leash, and the puppy go like, oh, my world's about to fall apart, and that's it, right? If you lay the foundation correctly, I can show you a puppy right here. I've got 4 months old puppy, Belgian Malinois. I don't have to have him on a leash. We can go downtown. He's gonna be completely off leash. That little shit will follow me everywhere I go. And if he gets interested in something, and I just do like a whatever, a secret sound, whatever, he'll break in half just to go right to me. Foundation was laid correctly. I have never had to touch the dog. Never had to spank him. Never had to do anything. No physical correction. Yeah. But again, I lay the foundation, and it's the right way. So now you have dogs that are cocky. They want to kill you. Are you going to spank those? You do damn right I will.
Yeah.
That sucker is going to get some ass whooping until he understands he cannot put 17 stitches on that human.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd rather take ass whooping of the dog than put him down.
Yeah, you're saving his life.
There is 40. Don't quote me on that, but I think there's like 30 or 40 dogs that are being put down every single day in a city of, I don't want to name the city, I don't want to get nobody's in trouble. The big city right here, we have only 2. 30 or 40 dogs are being put down a day.
It's terrible.
Okay, you know why? Because somebody refused to correct him. You know what? I have some of those dogs in my kennels. They're the most sweet dogs you can find. Oh. They're absolutely sweet dogs. I got them. They were nasty. They wanted to kill everybody. And within 2 months, they are nothing but cuddle balls.
And all it would have taken is the owner finding someone who could speak the dog's language earlier on.
Absolutely.
So how do you, if you're an owner and you want the best for your dog, how do you find you? But I live in Rockford, Illinois, or I live in Pullman, Washington. How do I find someone like you?
It's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. There are so many companies that will speak the talk. They will talk to dog talk. Is that?
Yep. Talk to talk. Yep.
Talk to talk on their social media and showing you all these cute puppies and good obediences and all that blah blah. And there's nothing that you can really make up your mind if those are it. I can give you a story of a lady. She's a very good friend of mine now. And so she took their dogs or her dog to a training company here in Metroplex, and it was a young female pit bull, very sweet female. But again, she was afraid. She wanted to kill everybody. They could not get her out of the car without trying to kill somebody, right? So they took her to a company. Training, I think they were marked as the best dog training company a year.
They have the most Google reviews or something?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
They're really good in their promotion. And for 3 weeks, the company would not let those people come see her. Like, what do you mean I cannot come see my dog? Well, I don't understand, okay? So after 3 weeks, they finally went there. Dog was even madder than before, scared. Again, it comes out of fear. They kept it in the fear. And long story short, after 4 or 5 weeks, they decided to stop the program. They took her back. They brought the dog to me. And they brought the dog to me with 2 things. 3, actually. Dog aggressive. Yeah. That dog, when they got her out of the car, she tried to kill me and everybody around, right? So that was a major issue. And then obedience, yeah? So they left the dog with me at 5 p.m. At 7 p.m., I'm sending them video how that female runs around with my dogs.
Because she's not dog aggressive anymore.
Dog aggressive. But when we tried it, she went after dogs.
Yeah.
When they brought her, she went after dogs. She went after me. Crazy. 2 hours later, dog issue fixed. About a week later, I'm not really sure how many days it was. She was friendly. She was eating from everybody. She was approaching people in Tractor Supply and Home Depot. And
wow.
No problem, right?
Crazy.
And it was fixed. It was fixed. It's really difficult to find a good trainer. Really difficult. Everybody will make it sound that this is it, they are it, but it's not. It's not. It's really hard to tell you how to choose a good trainer because there are some good trainers out there, but there's many that are not.
You have a very deep network, though. So if someone didn't live locally here and wasn't able to get access to you,
we have dogs from everywhere. We train dogs from California, Georgia, North Carolina. We're getting dogs from Maine.
Pet dogs,
yes,
not just pro.
No, pets, just all across the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Talk about the facility that you're planning to build for this for your
So
training
yes,
and boarding
yes.
company.
Right now we have a facility of 8 acres. We have a pond there that's treated for dogs, and we have training areas, boarding areas. We do have police dogs there and pets also. We have secluded a separate building for pets, so they never get in contact with the police dogs. But yeah, that's what we do, and we're planning to build. I don't know. It's 100 by 70. Big building for indoor building. All those boarding trains. We're gonna have agility. We're gonna have an indoor pool for them too.
Really?
So it's gonna be really, really nice facility here.
Do you offer training for hunting dogs as well? Is that something you can help hunters with?
So I could, but I will not. We're trying to, if you do a lot of things at once, you never do one correctly.
True story. Yep.
So I am myself very busy with the law enforcement military side. And now I'm, working on that pad, training trainers to be the right trainers and do it the right way takes most of my time right now. So that's what I'm putting my time and effort into, and so that's what's going to take my entire time for next year.
As familiar as you are with animals in general, like that's a big statement. You're just familiar with animals. What's your favorite animal other than the dog? Is it the horse? No, you love horses.
So I totally love horses. I'm getting involved somehow now with a project that is going to be a show about veterans, horses, cutting horses, and preserving the Western way of life. Cowboying and cows and all that. So that's going to hopefully be really good. But if I should pick one animal that's stuck on my mind and it's like right here, it's a leopard.
Really?
Yes.
Is it just the beauty of the animal? Is it the attitude? Is it the whole? Is it like when you see a badass woman? You can't really narrow it down to one thing. You're just like, she's just got it.
So leopards, the hard to reach, but once you reach it, it's more intense than anything else.
Really?
Okay, so
spotted leopards only, or does this include like panthers?
No, spotted.
Okay.
I'm speaking about one particular. Her name was Sarah. Yeah, leopard. She was 1.5 years old. Beautiful animal, and she bit a finger off to the caretaker in a zoo, so nobody could come to her. I was just working with hyenas there, and I said, I'd like to work with that leopard. And they go like, well, you're the guru, do whatever the hell you want, right?
Did you have to sign a release form?
I was on really good terms with that director of that largest zoo in Safari, actually, in Europe. And so, I had the permission, worked with Sarah. And it was amazing, man. I told her within a few days, things like high five and hang on the bars while I was rubbing her belly and laying on the back, giving me high five, turn around, laying on the back. And she didn't give a shit about no one else. She had caretakers that were around her for months, and she would care less about them. They brought food. She would not even look at that way. She still ignored them, like letting them know, screw you, you're nobody to me. I came, she was like a little kiddo. Like little kitty, jumping back and forth, doing all kinds of crazy things, happy to see me. And I was working with her just few a little over a few weeks.
Wow.
It was absolutely amazing animal. Absolutely amazing animal.
Is she still?
Yes, she moved to different safari, but yes.
If you went and visited Sarah today, would she?
I have no idea.
If she would remember you?
I would love to, but I have no idea what would happen.
Interesting.
But since we created that understanding so quick, and it was so bizarre because she hated everybody else, even the people that was taking care of her, was feeding her. And she created bond with me really quick. I believe we would find a way back, yeah.
Would you say that you had chemistry with her?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It was just like my heart was racing when I was training her.
Really?
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
Have you seen that Netflix documentary about the octopus?
No, I have not.
The guy, he has a romantic relationship with the octopus.
Really?
He doesn't have sex with the octopus, but he goes to visit it it's called My
Octopus Teacher.
My Octopus Teacher. And he starts visiting this octopus. I don't remember how he encountered it. He starts going every day. And octopus are crazy. Their brains are in their tentacles. Mm-hmm. They're amazingly intuitive. They're touching you, and they're touching you with what. That's a weird thing to think about, the way an octopus works. That's a very interesting documentary. You should check that out. But, we were talking because I just lost a dog, and man, it just really ripped me up. And you were talking about losing a dog when you were training the dog, that it choked on a ball. And I was feeling real kind of soft about taking the loss of my dog hard. And you tell me that story, because we talked about it before we went on.
Yeah, man. So his name was Riley. It was an interesting story. He actually killed a soldier in the Austrian military.
Wow.
Okay.
Like friendly fire?
No,
Soldier from the other side?
No. He killed a soldier that he was working with.
Wow. Damn.
He tore his what's it called? The big vein.
Oh, your femoral artery?
Yes.
Real?
So he bled out.
Shit.
He bled out, died, right?
That's the fastest way to kill someone.
Yeah, so
Just to cut that.
So through some channels, I got that dog.
Okay.
Right? First day I got that dog. And I knew he's a killer. Like he was dangerous dog.
Sure.
He grew up with the regular people, with civilians, and then he was too much aggressive. They passed into the military. He did this dumb shit in the military. So now I got the dog through some other people. And so I got him. I was here in U.S., and, they shipped him here, all sedated and all that. But by the time he lands in U.S., he was all full power. So I opened the crate. He comes out, looks at me. Yeah, we'll be friends. Huh. Never once the dog came at me, tried to eat me. The dog was super aggressive. He bit so many people here in U.S. So I got into a level where he was good. He was not aggressive, at least not to handlers, okay? So then I put him to I gave him put him to a sheriff office. Okay. So
what breed?
The Belgian Malinois.
Was it?
Yeah. So the sheriff office guy, the handler, had him for about 7-8 months. Everything went fine, right? Until on one day we're training, and this guy decides to take his own backpack from the ground. And dog goes like, "You're not touching it." He goes like, "Phooey!" And dog goes like, "You don't talk to me like that no more." Bam! Messed him up, tore his forehead like bad. So I jumped in, hooked the dog off of his arm, and they rushed him to the hospital. I take the dog home with me. Yeah. So ever since then, you would have to see it. It's just like magic. that dog, when he saw me, his eyes were lit up. Like, this is my dude. This is my bro right here.
Wow.
And he hated everybody else. Like, ever since that happened, he just wanted to kill everybody else. But when I had him, he was literally like little puppy around me. Like little puppy. It was unbelievable to see this bad. He was a big, stout dog. He was really mean. He just aggressive, wanted to hurt everybody. But once he saw me, he was jumping up and down, wagging tail like little puppy. I let him out. He licked all over me, just kisses everywhere. And when I sit down, that dude would not move away from me. Like, this is my universe right here.
Wow.
Okay, so and somebody once told me that the dog knows that you saved his life.
Yeah.
He loves you, right? And then happened what happened. So you speaking about crying. So that dog died 8/12. 8/12 when it happened, and 8/23 is when dog was pronounced dead. That night, around 9 o'clock, I took a shovel. I buried him in my backyard, and I took a shovel at 9 o'clock, and I was digging the grave and had a bottle of scotch there, and from 9 till 6 o'clock in the morning, I was bawling and bawling and bawling. I couldn't take it. It was horrible. So if somebody loses a dog, it's painful, man. It's just freaking painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard to where do you think dogs go when it's all over?
I don't know. I hope they go somewhere where they bite the shit out of somebody.
And where we can visit them?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think wasn't Will Rogers that said, if dogs don't go to heaven, I don't want to go to heaven. I want to go wherever they go, I think.
Yeah, but look, dogs are assholes. They do a lot of damage, but they're pure about it.
Yeah.
They're pure about it.
They're not trying to manipulate you and then stabbing you in the back.
They're straight up.
They are, aren't
You
they?
leave this house, I will mess it up.
I will chew your couch.
And for sure,
bitch.
you come back, your house is all messed up.
If a dog consistently runs away, is that just the wild streak in the dog, or you haven't laid the foundation of that attracting that love like you should?
Yeah, something is going on. Something is definitely going on. I never had a dog that would love to run away, even if he gets out of the house. I can let my dog, and those are highly trained dogs, but they're not trained to be running wild somewhere. I'll let them out of the house. I don't need to worry where I'm gonna find them 2 hours later. They'll be outside the door. So they go around somewhere, maybe around the property. They always want to come back.
That's awesome.
And you can tell what relationship they have with those dogs. If owner calls on his dog, you can tell by the reaction the dog shows you. So it's just like, my dog's Riley, right? Riley, come here, right here, right? The dog goes like this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming, right? Or you go, whether it's my 6-year-old dog, my 4 months old puppy. What's up, Daddy? What we doing? What's up?
They're all over it. Yeah.
It's two different dogs. It tells you everything.
No doubt. I'm sure you see that right away when people bring you problem dogs or the COVID dogs. You see the dog got shortchanged. We're doing dogs disservices by not training them properly.
Yeah,
and then that ends up costing the dog its life if something bad happens because the dog is just acting instinctually. You already talked about your favorite animal outside of the dog and the
here
horse.
for a second. Just a little, slide in.
Yeah.
When you said instinctually,
Right.
it's very true. And if you want to right foundation with the dog and you want to develop your dog correctly, you have to learn how to develop his cognitive mind. Okay? That's when the dog actually thinks about whatever he's about to do or what's going on, consequences. Basically, when dog stops and start thinking, that's developing cognitive mind that actually mind of reason.
like the dog is reading the situation and making a decision
Because
they're not in fight or flight,
rather than acting out of instinct.
because you have been thorough and comprehensive in terms of introducing the dogs to all these different scenarios.
So if I explain it completely bold and easy, this size is a brain of instincts, and then you have this little peanut here, right? I can see the comments of ladies. Okay, this peanut here, that is cognitive mind. That means mind that makes reasons and thinks about stuff, right? Your goal is to have them both same size.
Oh. But this instinctive is the one that starts out getting all the fuel.
Absolutely.
So you've got to calm them down and you got to fuel the cognitive so they are both developed and there's balance. Is that the goal?
Yes, absolutely. Balance.
And that's,
like with everything else in life.
You were talking about veterans and balance and structure, and have you helped veterans who are in distress by getting them around animals? Like, I know there's equine therapy. Is that part of the getting back to the Old West?
That's part of the show.
Yeah.
That's being worked on right now. Yes, and there's it's not only veterans, it's also incarcerated people.
Yeah.
Right. There's a program. Not really sure if it's in Oklahoma or where it is, or some of the northern states, Idaho maybe. And there's a program where incarcerated people go into the range and learn how to break Mustangs.
Yes.
Right? So they work with those animals. It gives them structure, gives them something that they start understanding the animals. And the animals bring the human side out of them. That's the beautiful thing. You learn how animals operate, and it brings the human out of you. So it's a very successful program. A lot of dudes come out of the program even from their prison time, and they actually go on and start working on the ranches and
Really?
working with animals. Yes, there's another program. It's called Bear Hug Range. You can find it on Instagram, Bear Hug Range, and it's a program for veterans only. So veterans that get out. They go to this ranch. They spend their months learning about ranching, horses, all that good stuff, and it puts them on the right path.
I think they have programs like that also for drug addicts and for people with eating disorders and for like battered women.
And if you see,
I think
everything goes back to having structure in your life, will put you on the right path.
That's so important, and I know you're very disciplined in terms of your structure. We were talking about that video where the guy didn't come pick you up to go to the gym, so you just ran fucking 5 miles to the gym. You getting a good workout in and eating good and, keeping moderation on the drinking and stuff like that. Is that a super important part of your life and keeping moving forward and being successful for you?
It's not part of my life. That's who I am. Right. So even if you try and get it out of me, it's just part of my DNA. That's who I am. Challenging myself, pushing myself forward. I love goals. I like beating them goals, accomplishing the goals. So I just got together with a really good trainer. His name is Dusty, and he's a cutter. He trains. He's got the most successful 2-year program for cutting horses. So, and by the way, he is the one that is behind the show, TV show, about the program, right? His name is Dusty Whitford. I hope I didn't butcher his name, man.
You got to introduce me.
Oh, definitely will.
Yeah.
So, Dusty, I spoke with him actually about that. My goal is to get to finals and win the finals of amateurs next year in cutting, right?
Yeah.
And I go like, Dusty, but listen, I'm going all in. I want to win. He goes like, You know what? Just focus on the journey. Focus on the journey.
That's hard, man.
And I heard it many times. A man who loves the journey gets farther than the one who loves the result. Look, journey is my life, but my goal is about the damn result, okay? So he goes, love the journey. I said, okay, but I will enjoy it if I can smash people at the end.
Yes, man. Yes, bro.
Do you hear me?
Oh, fucking 100%, man.
And all successful people will tell you, dream big.
Yeah.
You get far.
No doubt.
I have to have a goal. Once I reach it, guess what? There's another goal even higher, and sky's the limit. That's what we say. I got to have the goal in the back. And I love to set up goals and go it. And on the also, I'm a big dreamer. Man, I got dreams. I always had dreams. Ever since I was small, I got dreams. One of my dreams was the man from Snowy River.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm working on? I'm going to fulfill that dream. My dream was to be a professional canine trainer. Guess what my living is? My dream was to have a badass pickup truck. A European guy. We don't have pickup trucks like you do guys here in Europe, okay? Or U.S. We don't have that.
Especially Texas, bro.
You'd have to rob a bank to drive one of those in Europe, okay?
There's crazy fucking trucks in Texas.
Okay.
Man. Yeah.
Guess what I'm driving?
We got
Dodge Ram.
We got better trucks and better chicks in Texas than anywhere in the world, I think.
I'm not sure about them chicks, but you definitely have better trucks, man.
Is it easier?
That's 100%.
Is it easier for you to vibe with to get chemistry with a puppy dog than it is with a woman? Is that harder? Because the communication aspect is different.
So I'm an animal person.
Yeah.
Right. If it barks, I can work with it so easy.
Right.
Perfect. It's you understand it. There's no hidden agenda. There's nothing behind it.
Don't need their nails done.
No. Look. It's nothing but joy. No question marks.
Yeah.
No nothing.
No games.
Yes. No nothing. It's perfect.
I am picking up what you're laying down, brother. I am. I know you're very goal-oriented, and I'm very goal-oriented too, and I'm always trying to listen to people who are further along than me in life when they say, like, slow down, smell the roses, it's the journey, not the destination. All that's really cool.
You know what? If it's all about the journey, you get rocked. What do you call it when the baby falls asleep in that rocking?
Yeah, rocks you to sleep, like
Yeah,
the day
man.
in and day
No, man.
out.
Yeah, if it's the journey, you love riding horses, okay, you can love riding horses twice a week. But if I need to beat people at the end that are really good, I'm going to be riding twice a day.
Yeah.
That's the difference between having a goal and love the journey.
Well, that's also the difference between being passionate and carrying the fire and just kind of going with the flow.
Exactly.
And there's two types of rivers. There's the river that's fucking, if you get in it, it's taking you where it's going. And there's rivers that you can walk across. And I'm not a river you can walk across. I'm a river where if you get in, we're fucking going.
Exactly.
And we're going hard, and we're going to smash into rocks, and we're going to break trees, and it's going to hurt sometimes, but we're fucking going. Because losing or living a shitty, average, bullshit, lame-ass life is not what I'm about. I know it's not what you're about either.
No. Look, I got plenty of dreams, and dreams take a lot of work to fulfill them. And I'm not about to be just talking about dreams, I'm fulfilling them. And you know what? When you're talking about, I love the journey. If Rocky Balboa was training because he loves to train with Paulie, he would get beat by Drago. But he was training to beat Drago, and he beat him.
And that's the chip on the shoulder. You got to have a chip.
You have to. That's your fuel. That's your fuel.
You have a chip on your shoulder. You weren't born in this country. When you came here, now that you've lived here, what is America and the American dream mean to you?
Dude, listen, the United States of America is the absolute best country in the world. Dude, listen, I lived in Europe. I lived in different countries in Europe. I traveled all around the world. I did work in different parts of this planet. United States, people have no idea what a beautiful country this is.
That's true.
not only, and speaking of coming from Australia, right?
Yeah.
So not only like you have beautiful land, Colorado, California, talking about land. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Colorado, Wyoming, Montana,
Washington. Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, all that. You
The
know,
Carolinas. Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Upstate
absolutely.
New York. It's
And-
crazy.
And you
Yeah.
can travel all these beautiful parts of world and still speak the same language.
And all you
Pay-
need is a driver's license.
pay the same money.
Yeah.
Having the same laws. It's just awesome. It's just beautiful. I totally love the mentality of American people. I love how friendly and compassionate they are. And you come somewhere and say, hey, good morning, and everybody say, oh, how you been, man? You don't even know who that dude is, and he's asking you how you doing.
Yeah.
Like, cool, really friendly
When you're
environment.
getting your coffee and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I just came from Australia, right? And because I've been here 6 years. Okay, I've been in the United States in 6 years, and I completely consumed, or I'm completely how do you say this in English? Yeah, I got used to take it for my own.
Oh yeah,
This-
like take it for granted almost.
No, not granted. Like I accept it
Oh
fully.
yeah, I got you.
And bought into and put in my veins the mentality and culture of U.S. Right?
Got you. Yeah.
And
America.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. That's it,
yeah.
baby. That's it. So I live like that. That's my mentality now. So I come to Australia. You come there in the morning, like to like a shop, coffee shop, and you guys say, hey, good morning. How you doing? Can I have some coffee? They're looking at you like, who's this weirdo? Why are you talking to me?
That's weird.
No good morning. No like, what's up? How you doing?
They don't say "G'day, mate." They don't do that.
No, man, they were like really not friendly at all. I'll tell you the story. I'll explain you everything. I come to a barber. Right, come to a barber. I'm sitting there. It's like 6 dudes in that barber. I'm waiting for my turn. 15 or 20 minutes, completely quiet. Like nobody would say shit.
While they're all getting their haircut, no
Dude,
one's talking.
in a barber, man.
I thought that's
come on, man.
That's where you throw it down. Is in the barber shop.
So listen, I was like, this is awkward as hell. So my turn comes in. I sit in the chair. I was like, so is this like a church thing or something? What's going on here?
A church.
Yeah, I was like, what's up with you guys, man? Like, why everybody so quiet? I start talking. Dude, kid you not, 5 minutes later, I have the entire shop laughing,
Good for you. man.
talking. Like, they're all like, woo! Like, we're
That's
making,
awesome.
throwing jokes and all that. I was like, it's America, baby.
Yeah.
That's what America does to you, make
It
you
is,
laugh.
man. Yeah, that's so that's true though, because I've traveled around playing some rugby, and you do try to go in and make small talk with people who you've never met.
Just chill, dude.
I mean-
we're on this ride together, so we might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, and almost if you're full and you're on fire and you're passionate, you go talk to somebody else, maybe they're a little down, but you say to them like, oh, I hope you're having a good day, or how you doing, and maybe you even have to carry the conversation because they don't feel comfortable talking, but you can get them moving. It helps. I think that's awesome. What do you think about when you see people in the media or on the news or on social media? This country sucks and we don't have it figured out.
Dude,
And
it
it's
makes me-
bullshit.
man,
What is that? How's
listen.
that make you feel?
It makes me sad. It makes me sad because this country deserves so much more. You know what? There's just few people that, and it's, you have to understand that social media is peaking only the most uncommon, because common will not sell, right?
Yes, true.
So
Very true.
vast majority of people in the United States are beautiful, awesome people.
Yeah.
Like you have farmers, ranchers, you have, just vast majority of people
Yeah.
are very nice people, good-minded, good-hearted people. And then there's a very small portion of people that they have a problem with their own identity. They don't have a problem with this country. They cannot find themselves in their own life. Has nothing to do with this country. So when somebody cannot find themselves, that's why they making all kinds of different groups, and they want to belong to different types of establishments because they don't have their own identity. They're looking for the subsidized in some kind of group.
Yeah.
I belong here.
Other people that
I'm one of them.
co-sign with your ideals.
Yes,
Maybe they're
yes.
not even your ideals, but you want so bad to
You wanna
belong
belong.
that
Yes,
you'll just
yes.
adopt what other people say sometimes.
So it is really sad that people talking bad about this country because, again, look, take it from a guy that grew up in a communist country. Take it from a guy that was grown up poor and lived around the world. And I worked hard my entire life. Nobody gave me for free nothing. Everything I have, I had to work with these hands. And I'm not super bright kid, okay? So everything I have, this is what made me those money, okay? Not this. So take it from me, and I'm telling you that this is the absolute most beautiful country in the world.
That's awesome, man. I think that people who've lived here all their lives and don't have any perspective need to listen when people like you say things like that. Because you have a lot of perspective. Because like you said, it's not like you've been here for 6 years full time.
6 years, correct.
It's not like you were born in a communist country and you moved here when you were 2 years old.
No,
and have been
no.
here the whole. You know what I mean?
I came here when I was 36 years old.
So you've seen some shit.
Yes, sir.
And to say, yo, y'all don't understand how good you have it, and you're talking shit about shit you don't even understand, man.
And another thing, you had to realize that I didn't come from bumfucked Egypt, okay? I came from pretty developed country.
Yeah.
We have, if you go to Prague, you'll find more Mercedeses and BMWs and Ferraris and Bentleys than anywhere else.
And fentanyl.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, we're pretty good on drugs, but yeah, I'm coming from a country that is not poor, has no
Right.
issues or anything like that, and I'm telling you that this is the most beautiful country in the world.
Yeah. It's what that axiom, you don't know what you've got till it's gone.
100%, yes.
Really
yes,
true. You know,
true.
we very
And
spoiled.
there's a story that just unfolded a few days ago, right? There's some person that didn't like this country, and I'm pretty sure she was super damn happy to step on the ground of the United States of America.
Yeah, I think you're fucking exactly goddamn
You
right.
know,
man.
so again, didn't know what she had until she lost it.
Well, like you said, it's very chic in some circles to talk shit about shit you have no idea about.
100%,
And
100%.
gratitude and being grateful isn't cool. Being a complainer and talking shit, that's what, like you said, that's what social media highlights, right? That's what trends.
You know, that's how the millennials and the X generation millennials.
Gen X is the one above, right? Millennials is the
So they all were raised that participation is already giving you the entitlement to your rewards and trophies, right? Not participate. That means you're American, you deserve everything, and America owes you everything. Yeah. No, nobody owes you nothing. Just get out there and get it, because you have the most beautiful and most accessible country in the world to do anything you want and become whoever you want.
Do you think that terms like the land of opportunity and terms like that
Absolutely.
are true? You compare them to
Look, pretty
where
simple,
you've been
right?
And what you've seen?
Look at Germany. Germany has what? 60 million people. Czech Republic has 10 million people, right? Poland, I think, has got 80, something like that. Or other way around, Germany 80, Poland 60. Anyway, buying power of one country is usually very small, right? Especially in Europe, because one country in Europe is just like one state here in the United States, right? So buying power, and still the differences between the countries are big. Cultural, huge differences, cultural, because for hundreds of years, totally different cultures. So now if you have one currency, that doesn't unite you, right? That doesn't, the differences between countries are still huge, right? But you have 320-something million people in this country.
Sounds right.
That's buying power.
Yeah.
So if you go out there on social media or internet and start selling product, you have potential of 320 million customers.
Yeah.
You can start selling and doing whatever you want. You know, just like one county, Dallas County or Collin County has got 1 million people.
Yeah.
If you get $1 from every single citizen, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
You know? So So no, United States is absolutely the land of opportunities. Not to speak that if you do any business from the United States towards the rest of the world, everybody loves it.
Yeah, no doubt. When people who maybe they have a COVID dog, maybe they are thinking of getting a puppy. Maybe they're really interested in getting, going with this trend and getting a Malinois or something. They need to get in touch with you. They need to talk to you. What's the best way for them to connect with you fastest?
So you can reach me either at my social media or True Canine International, Instagram, Facebook. We have a website, truecanineinternational.com. Where's our cell phone? There's a direct line on me as well, email. Just reach out anywhere. We'll get back to you.
Yeah, you're super accessible,
and we'll help you with anything. Whether even if you decide to buy dogs somewhere else, I will still help you, or we will still help you. Give you pointers what to look for and what to be careful about. Trainings. If you're somewhere out of state and you're looking for a trainer, I can still help you to see what you're looking for. Help you make a selection of your own trainer out there. Just reach out, and I am the animal's advocate. So if I can help your dog to have a better life, I will definitely do that.
It's fucking awesome, man. Thank you guys for joining us here on the JESS MARSHALL podcast. Leo, True Canine International. Hit me up if you feel like you can't get in touch with him, but he's very accessible. And brother, thank you for coming on the show again, man. It's good to see you. I appreciate
it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
man.
you're
was
badass
awesome.
as always, man. That was fucking. What's up? Thanks for checking out my videos here on the JESS MARSHALL YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for sure. Hit that bell. Press that button to watch the next video. If you got a question you have about any of the topics I bring up in the videos, drop a question below, and we'll be sure to get an answer back to you ASAP. See you on the next one.